Guess what, guys? I got my hands on a set of the prototype Synergy Surfskate Trucks, which are supposed to be the biggest hype new development of technology in the industry. Let's take them for a run and see how they work.
Hey guys, Mark here, and I wanted to give you a quick little mini review of my experience with using the prototype Synergy Surfskate Trucks. So these are incredibly well thought through. Every little aspect has been custom tailored. There's so much customization with the bushings you're able to use. You can adjust the hanger width so you can customize it to fit different width decks. You can swap out the hangers, you can swap out almost all the components. You can change the angle on the rear trucks by just using Allen keys to switch that up. So if you want to have more like a long distance pump type setup, you can angle this in a different manner. Almost anything you can think of is customizable. Now the question is it still going to be functional? Sometimes you see a lot of bells and whistles on products that are over-engineered, and then when you try them out, they don't really live up to the hype. All right, gonna try out the Synergy Surfskate Truck system for the first time. Let's see how they flow. Nice and close is good. So from the very first few pumps, I could feel that these were special. They reminded me almost of like the Curve board or the swell, like somewhat the best functions of the Curve board, Swell Tech, and the Grasp, in that they were really easy to get pumping. Like it does not take a lot of effort, just minimal effort, and you're getting nice flow. Like you can see just angle you get with my hands like this. It pumps effortlessly. But at the same time, being a bushing based system, it's still relatively stable when you're kick pushing. Like it doesn't feel like it's going to fold over on you when you're pushing it. And even coming down fakie on a ramp, it still stabilizes pretty well. Like it's not quite as much so as a Carver C5 or anything, but I found it more stable than like a Yao system or anything like that.
One thing that I noticed is that instead of having pivot cups, having spherical bearings, the ride felt a lot smoother and more fluid, and there was no pivot cup squeak or anything like that when you're riding. So pumping and carving just felt really fluid. Such a huge range of motion too. Like I don't think I've had any system that I could do infinity carves in such a small space as with the Synergy trucks. You can see here on a friend's mini ramp, just using the flat bottom section, and I could keep going forever with really tight carves. Took minimal effort. Even with like these slippery wheels, I was still able to manage it. So definitely on flat ground, this system is amazing. I think if you're trying to learn how to pump and how to carve, it's a really good system for that too, because it takes so little effort to get moving. So let's take it over to the skate park and see how it goes there. And here I found that it was very similar to the way I first found the Grasp system, in that you feel like you have the fluidity and range of motion of a spring-based system, but it's stable enough and comfortable feeling like a bushing-based system. So it kind of combines the best of both worlds. You can see it when I push to get started, nice and stable, but then it's super flowy once we get into the park section itself. So the only issue that I had with this system is the kingpin that stuck out in the front truck. And it was enough that it would get in the way when you tried to get into carve grinds. You can see how it caught on me right there.
Yep. Kingpin's an issue.
So after that incident, I sort of stayed away from playing with the coping on these trucks. I still had lots of fun, but I kind of felt a little bit handicapped with not being able to enjoy it to the full extent. However, I did raise this issue with the owner and pointed out my concerns, and he took immediate action to try to come up with a solution. And following that discussion, he was able to find a way to lower the kingpin and still keep it feeling as good as it did before for carving and pumping. Not only that, but he built in a custom bushing seat which had a bit of a protector piece. So let's take a look at how that worked to solve the issue.
So this is the newly designed bushing seat for the Synergy trucks, and this should help us when we're trying to grind curbs, so that even though the kingpin is almost as high as it was before, this is going to help deflect it so it doesn't catch as abruptly, and it's not going to bring us to a dead stop. Let's try it out. Got a full session in, lots of curbs, front side, back side. You can see that the piece here did its job. No hang-ups from the kingpin, lots of grinds, didn't feel anything, so definitely working.
So that curb testing of the new system gave me the confidence to bring it back to the skate park and try it on coping in the bowls. And I have to say, it worked perfectly. It was grinding with no issues whatsoever. So definitely a solution-based owner who found a fix to this one little problem identified. So this board can do the unconventional stuff too, like you can get board slides, land stable because of that bushing-based system. Now with the new bushing seat, you can even do slappies and curb grinds. Was able to do wall rides and came out of it no problem, no hang-ups.
Nice.
Mini ramp tricks like this tail pivot. And even doing flyouts had no issue with getting big air and no jackknifing whatsoever when landing. Now, one thing I want to highlight is the range of motion you get from these trucks really came to be a benefit when it comes to sliding, doing Burt slides and snaps, laybacks. It just flowed so well into your slide. It could lean so much, you could get the board almost so much that the rail is touching the ground, and that is super helpful for being able to have nice, big, steezy looking slides. Have a look here on this layback, how even at full stretch, the trucks are just kind of following my motion, going with me and keeping their line. It just works so well for big slides. So I didn't play around with the different features too much. I'm more of a feel kind of person than a get into the technical specs kind of person. Definitely check out Shane Lai's review to get a better feel for all the technical specifications and playing with the different angles in that. For me, I wanted to go based on feel, how these come out of the box, just riding them as is. and they felt amazing. Whether you're doing like surf training, like more surfy flow, whether you're doing unconventional stuff, I just found it had the perfect balance of all the different riding styles. I could do grinds well, I was able to do skate tricks, I could ride fakie. It kind of has the best of all worlds, and I was a bit of a doubter in terms of what these could bring, but feeling is believing. I've tried them now, and while I didn't think that the world needed another surfskate truck, this one definitely takes some of the best qualities of other surf skates that are out there and merges them together. I think if you get a chance, these are worth checking out and maybe worth adding to your quiver. Hope you found this useful, and if you have any questions about Synergy trucks, don't be shy to hit me in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys.